Yeah, check. Perfect. Yeah, check. Wait. Bitch about it made me late. You need something, you gotta wait. Bottle on the way. Got your lotto to the face. Sipping right up out the vase. Probably dripping in the bay. I could live with a mistake. Nigga tripping, I don't play. Yeah, I don't play. Need $1 million for the tape. I don't see a different way. I'ma whip him in the shade. Pouring liquor, let it rain. Catching, reaching for the chain. Pulling out and let it bang. How we talk without a brain. Things just ain't the same. Stuff that I cannot contain. I ain't whipping in the flames. I ain't even got a car. Rental in a different name. Pouring up and switching lanes. Knew the nigga wasn't hard. Told him that he couldn't hang. Couldn't get into a bar. Now they put me just to play. If you book me, I ain't pay. Catch a pussy in the dark. He can't look me in the face. He can't look me in the face. Bitch about it made me late. You need something, you gotta wait. Bottle on the way. Got your lotto to the face. Sipping right up out the vase. Probably dripping in the bay. I could live with a mistake. Nigga tripping, I don't play. Yeah, I don't play. Lyrical, no lemonade. You ain't with the pistol play. Brother always try to shoot. Cold Bennett in the face. All you niggas in the way. No, you ain't got shit to say. Used to cop it by the pound. Had to ship it from the bay. You can never say I changed. I'm just sticking to my ways. Got expensive with the taste. Fuck a Civic, nigga. I want digits in the race. Diamond sitting in the face. Judge hit me, hold me, then I'm dipping in the case. Lawyer dipping in the safe. I ain't worried. Let it sizzle like a steak. You can tell that he fake. Never bitten by the snake. Yeah. Bitch about it made me late. You need something, you gotta wait. Bottle on the way. Got your lotto to the face. Sipping right up out the vase. Probably dripping in the bay. I could live with a mistake. Nigga tripping, I don't play.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Cypher, episode number 21. I'm your host, the owner of Upstate Aesthetic, Andrew Cazer. Every week I'm joined by two of my dope co-hosts, Anthony Cannon and Sheridan Crane. We just opened with Late off of Anthony's new clean slate EP. How you guys doing?
Not too bad, bro. My back hurt like a motherfucker, but got some pillows propped up. I'm excited to be doing another episode. Is it safe to say that this is season 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 3. First episode of season 3. Hell yeah.
Facts.
Hell yeah. It's been a good week for me. I kind of just been recording music, relaxing, going up to the lake when I can. This is the last couple of days I'm going to have it. I decided to look for a different apartment in San Francisco, so I think I'm going to be in New York for a little bit longer. But other than that, I'm just hanging out trying to get as much music as I can done. I do have a surprise video coming within the next week. So stay tuned for that. But other than that, just excited to get on with this episode and tell y'all who won this music video.
Yes, that's the point. If you guys have been wondering who's won, we closed the polls on, what was it, Saturday, I believe.
I think
we
so.
closed the polls then. We looked over all the results, checked everything out, made sure everything was on the up and up, and we figured out who the winner was, so we will announce that here in just a minute. I do want to just thank everyone again for participating in that competition episode. That was really fun. It's great to have all of the local participation in it, and we kind of announced it last week, but I want to re-announce it and let everybody know you can go ahead and start sending beats. We don't exactly have a cutoff date yet, but we might as well start getting them sent in for the producer contest. We're going to be doing that on episode 25. We're on episode 21, so that's 4 episodes away. Easy to do the math, but we'll have a cutoff date here next week. We'll absolutely have a date set for it, but go ahead and start sending in those tracks. We've been asked for it. You guys have been asking for it, so we wanted to do it. It's time to give some of the producers a chance, so we're looking forward to that.
Let's get it.
That's going to be a lot of fun, and it should be a great episode for that as well. When do we want to announce the winner of the competition episode? Should we do it right now? We've left everybody waiting for a while.
Yeah.
I think we should do it.
Not make the people wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should do
Absolutely. We made them wait long enough. Thank you, everyone. We gave you guys time to come in. I don't have a drum roll drop. I just realized that a second ago. But Ant got one for us. I want to say we had hundreds of votes for at least the top 5. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. But we had hundreds of votes for everyone, which was awesome to see. Everyone had to put in their email to confirm who they were, so there were no bullshit votes, because that people apparently try that shit, and it's very easy to catch with technology. So it is silly to see. But it is cool to announce. I'm excited to announce that King Vice, he won with his track Louis Bag. This was a track put in the top 12, more specifically by Sheridan, but it was also within my top 12. But Sheridan had it a little bit higher ranked than I did, and King Vice had his fans show out for him, and that was the important part of that part of the competition. That was something that Niko really, really pushed. He wanted it to be important about that, is can you guys fight in terms of promoting it? Some artists that were near the top really didn't promote it that much. I don't know if they were just disinterested in a free music video. That doesn't make much sense, but there wasn't a whole lot of push from some people, and the votes showed for that. And the people who did push for it, you see the winner, King Vice. He had a great song, but it was the votes that came with it, and him pushing it and his team pushing it, that really did well for him. So congratulations to him. That was really cool.
Absolutely. No,
congrats, King Vice.
I did not have you in my initial top 12, so it's dope to see that somebody can come out with the dub from all that. You got the free music video. Shit, that appraise is at like 500 cash or something crazy.
Thanks.
Niko is no slouch. He's one of the best in the area, and you better take advantage of that properly. Get you a clean video. It's one of my favorite videographers to work with. Very happy that he decided to sponsor this event. My vote personally went to Corey Loveless. I would have loved to see that song turn into a video. I thought it was set up for a perfect visual, but I'm sure he'll still make a video out of it regardless. There's a couple songs that could have made a fire video out of it. I'm happy that somebody a couple people pushed to their fan bases. I was worried about that for a couple days, especially leading up to the event. I wasn't sure who was gonna promote and get the votes. Once we did the crowd choice option, we got hundreds of votes, like you said. So that was surprising to me, and it set the precedent for something like that in the future with other artists. You definitely got to push that. Anybody, it was who's ever for the taking. So congrats to King Vice for getting that.
Thanks. Congrats, bro.
Yeah, congratulations, and shout out to Corey, and there were a couple other artists, because Corey was one of them who was up there, who had a lot of votes, and it showed.
He was second.
I want to say he was second.
Right?
Yeah, right.
He was a close second. Very close.
So
second.
and it just goes to show, and he was
votes.
pushing it like he should have been, and that's the point. You got to push it. You got to push it to your fans, and they will support what you're doing. And that's what it really comes down to. If you're down to support what you've got going on, you just got to keep putting it out there. It's almost like you feel like you're spamming it, but that's kind of how you gain the support. It's not actually spamming it. That's you looking for support. It's weird, but you use all your platforms, you use all your social medias, and it's not that hard to pull up contests like this. Like, it is difficult. I don't want to make it sound like it's super easy, but if you do utilize your fan base, because a lot of you do have fan bases who will do that, they will show out and vote. And I know for a fact, because I've seen it with the contests that we've run on the website. So it's really cool to see everyone get the fan base showing out, and we were kind of proved wrong. None of us had King Vice at number 1. So it goes to show, shout out to Niko for setting us up, for encouraging us to do the poll, and for being a sponsor. And again, shout out to DMP Studios. We've got their pictures posted on part of the Cypher, because they just helped us out. Like, I want to continue to help sponsor them just because they helped sponsor us. Like, it's cool to have this relationship with other places and stuff in the community, rather than just artists. Like, there's a lot more that goes into it than just the artists. So having that relationship is dope, and it's been really awesome.
Absolutely, it brings a whole nother element, and it just adds to the community aspect that we've been trying to create.
Thanks.
100%, and it just gives artists who might not know of these platforms, or might not know of Niko, or might not know of DMP Studios, another place where they can go and get that outlet. Because I know there are artists out there who don't go anywhere. And I'm not trying to push anyone to go to one place over another. All I'm saying is there are artists who listen who don't go anywhere, who record in their home and don't really have an idea of where to go. How do I know that? Because I was one of them when I was trying to make music 5 years ago. I didn't know of alternate studios to go to. I went to the most expensive one in the area. I don't want to say I got fucked over, but I didn't have the most encouraging experience, and after that just didn't go to another studio. So for other artists to know there's other places to go, it's just a beneficial thing. So shout out to DMP for working with us and providing that 2 hours of studio time, and Niko for the music video, because that was just really dope for both of them to sponsor what we've got going on.
Yeah, for real. Donnell, Niko, some real ones. Worked with both of them plenty of times. You're not going to get too many people better than them out here.
No doubt.
Yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to them, because it's really just a lucky opportunity for everybody to get this. Not everybody gets this, especially in an area like what we're in. A lot of times, it's stuff like this will happen in cities,
through like major radio
in smaller
stations
towns.
With
Through major.
So it's cool.
Exactly. So the fact that we have this as a smaller area, smaller populated area, is really special, I think.
No doubt. So once again, shout out to King Vice for picking up that dub. That's really dope. I'm excited to see the music video that comes from it. That's going to be a really cool thing. Like it's something that we sort of helped facilitate, and when we see the actual music video that comes of it, it's going to be really awesome. So I'm excited for that, for what eventually comes. So.
No doubt.
And then I just want to shout out 607 Sound. They've provided me with another update. Well, not provided me. They've provided everyone with another update, and that's what I'm using in terms of new music that's come out this week. Clean Slate by Anthony Cannon, as we already mentioned. We got Oh My by Nodis Walla, Spaceship by Dustin Alonzo Brun, and another track featuring Ant. Ant was busy this week. Cry Alone Cry Alone by Ryan Bronson, and Frozen by K. Killy. You guys will be hearing a couple of these tracks later on in the show, but shout out to all of them for dropping new singles. And once again, shout out to 607 Sound for always providing that update every Friday on new tracks and stuff that are dropping, because they have been on top of it throughout the whole summer when I haven't been able to. So it's been really dope that they've provided that other outlet for people. There are always different outlets for Upstate, so I'm glad to see that there is consistency out there. So it's nice. Wanted to shout them out again. And then,
of course, and it's something that's only going to, it builds anticipation for fans. They're doing a better job of promoting songs than some artists are. So,
that's a fact. And that's by design by some artists. Some artists just want to put more time and effort into making the music than promoting it. And I guess if that's your cup of tea, I could go on a whole ass rant about stuff like that. So there's no point. We'll keep it pushing. We've got topics to talk about. If you saw the cover for this week's episode, this one's going to be an interesting topic. The 2020 freshman list for XXL. This is a very disappointing list for me overall. I've been a huge fan of the XXL thing for probably like a long time. I can't tell you exactly how long, but I've paid attention to it since I really got into paying attention to hip hop. It's probably something that made me pay attention to like artists I didn't know about at the time, like 10 years ago. So it's disappointing to see what this list has become. What were your guys' thoughts when you saw this initially?
It's what I expect. There's a couple artists that I would have liked to see on here that I didn't. But it's like, I don't know what else to expect from XXL at this point. I think it's been a gradual decline in terms of lyricism and hard, impactful bars, and more geared to just the hip-hop culture in general, whichever artists are dominating at that time. And these are the artists that are dominating. I saw Chica. I'm excited to see her in this list. She's probably the best rapper of the group, in my opinion. Polo G's fire, Jack Harlow's fire, Baby Keem, Lil Keed. Like y'all fuck with them. I fuck with them, just not as much as the other names. It was underwhelming, but I didn't expect better. Like, they're not gonna throw fucking on the freshman list.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's also mad. Like, do they usually put like older people on the freshman list? Have they done that historically? Because like Benny's pretty old compared to
They have done
the
that in
rest
the
of the people on
past.
the list.
Bro, when this started out, I'm go ahead and talk. I'm gonna pull up some old freshman lists because we're gonna attack your opinion on this episode.
All right. Well, nah. Well, I'm just wondering, like, who would you have? Because I agree the list is bad, but like, who would you have really rather seen? It would have been nice to see Pop Smoke on there. Obviously, he couldn't be on there. I saw that he was removed. But like, who else would we have wanted to see on there? I'm curious.
I forgot that Roddy Ricch was on last year's. Lil Baby. I don't know. Lil Baby probably turned it down.
Yeah, I think he turned it down like 2 years ago, bro.
Yeah.
That's the thing too, where they've kind of diluted it over the past couple years, where a lot of artists really aren't interested in doing it. I'm almost surprised that Pop was gonna do it, but he would have been the one to make it. I think if you add Pop Smoke to this list, it's really not that bad because you have a real standout artist. But that's all with hindsight and everything, and he had planned it. So I don't know.
I think JIDK. You could have Travis Thompson, Marlon Craft. Do you know who Travis Thompson is?
Yeah, I guess I could have seen like Slow Tie up there too, but I don't know.
There's a couple artists. I mean, it's all about. That's how you know it's about popularity because these are artists that should be up for nominations. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like I don't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I feel like considering considering the options, I don't think it's that awful of a list. It's just I don't think there were very many good options this year for freshmen.
I mean, I don't think. Oh, it said Pop Smoke did make the XXL.
Yeah, they had him and then
they just didn't put him on the cover.
Oh, what?
It says that I guess I'm on Wikipedia.
Oh, Wikipedia.
But he's under their official class for 2020.
There was an interview that came out that they said that he had initially agreed to do it, was going to be a part of it, but then due to things out of their control was removed, and he was unable to be on there posthumously. So they wanted him to be there, but he was unable to be there. They're going to still have an interview with him and shit, but
Benny Butcher turned down the XXL cover this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Which, I mean, again, that goes to the fact that they've really degraded the value of what it, I mean, and it never really had this huge name for it. There were points where they had really, really great years, but it's not like it's always had this stigma of every artist went through it. The biggest artists went through it because a lot of the biggest artists kind of steered away from it. I don't know what major
I got
artists.
Some notable names.
Yeah, hit me with them.
I got some notable names: Nicki Minaj, Drake, ASAP Rocky, Young Thug, Party Next Door, Tory Lanez, Lil Skies, Juice WRLD, Post Malone. If I said him. Those seem more recently than anything, but that's what's right here.
Post and Nicki are like the two superstar names out of that I really feel like the rest of them are names, they're notable names, but I don't feel like they're superstar names.
ASAP Rocky, Young Thug, Tory Lanez, Post Malone.
Yeah, they're
what?
none of they're all huge. They're all.
I don't know. I'm not putting Tory in the same level as all of them, but Young Thug,
walk outside without getting mobbed.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like. So, Ant, my question is: would you do it if you were invited? Would you do it?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you? I feel like you guys would be foolish not to.
Yeah,
Overall.
I mean, but I'm gonna be the nigga to wild the fuck out. Like in a class like this, do you know what my verse would? I would go viral so easily. Whoever is the one nigga would just it would be big. But the BT ciphers always are what aim more towards what the freshman list used to be. They always do a good job.
All right, so we've experienced a couple different technical difficulties, but to the point, I do understand why larger named artists would decline to do this. But even someone like Benny the Butcher, I don't understand why he's declining the option to do something like this. I think that he could, while it's not super beneficial to him, he could help turn the tide for the Double XL in terms of maybe they want to add more value to it in lyrical artists or just better artists overall. Why are some artists saying no when it's still a platform that could help? People would automatically talk. Yes, it would be confusing to see Benny the Butcher next to these names, but people would be talking about it, and his name would be the one to stand out in every conversation. Every conversation about the Double XL list would say Benny's the best one. He's the one to watch for, and every little kid looking at this list would then check for him, and then there's new fans made. So I get it why he says no, because it's been a tarnished thing, but I don't, at the same time, I don't get it. I don't get why you would turn down any opportunity, but.
The only way that would ever work is if they put Benny in a Cypher by himself and they give him like 2 minutes over one beat and just let him go nuts. I don't think that it makes sense. I genuinely don't, and I don't think that double and capacity are going back to their roots, because if they did, it wouldn't just be Benny the Butcher's name. It would
well,
be a
it's
lot
got to
more
be
artists like Benny the
hybridized,
Butcher
you know what I mean?
who have had incredible
But I do
views.
I think it's got to be more of like a hybridized situation. Like they want to have pieces of what was there, so the diehard fans who want to see a lyrical artist or better, because imagine like if you add Benny and Pop Smoke to this list, it's not the best list ever, but it's definitely not a shitty list. It's better than previous lists over the last couple years that we're talking about aren't as good. I don't know. Because at that point, I feel like two of the lesser artists are then pulled off, and it just elevates the whole thing overall. I could be totally wrong, but I don't think, and again, I understand why he would say no to an extent, because like I said, it's a thing that is tarnished. It's really not something that has that reputation that you have to do it. And like I said, in terms of like, there are big artists who have done it, but it's just, I don't know. I get it, but
I don't think Benny should have done it. It just is a bad look. It just is a bad look.
Benny would get clout chasing rumors. Like he's not. That's not him. He doesn't need that. Benny's more respect than anything. He doesn't need the spotlight.
But it's not like about. I don't know.
It's like he doesn't.
I guess I'm thinking about it in terms of like
the people that would listen to his music, and which is more money. But if Benny's not worried about the money,
I don't know.
He's got bread, and if he wanted more, he knows how to go get it. He's just trying to be the best ever at this point. You feel me? He wants to be in the GOAT conversation.
So why wouldn't you go? I don't know.
He's got songs with Drake, bro. He doesn't need to do that.
No,
he doesn't need to do that.
He probably feels like he was a freshman in 2014, and they should have hit him up fucking 6 years ago.
And that's something that seems to happen with a lot of artists too, is they generally feel like the idea of being a freshman at this stage in their career, when they are starting to get that fan base under them, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They, especially at this point when it's so easy for artists to drop projects, like it's never their first project or their first couple projects, even when they're featured on the freshman list at this point. They've got a couple projects under their belt. The idea of being a freshman just makes little to no sense. So I guess when I do think about it that way, like, yeah, it is almost demeaning. So when I think about it in terms of that, yes, I agree. My biggest argument of wanting Benny to do it was just to add value to what it is, because at this point it's shitty. And when I first got into the freshman list, it's not, like I said, it's never been the end all be all of new artists that you need to watch for. But it was cool to see a list of that at the time. To see this being that list now, I'm just like, there's not a whole lot that appeals to me on this list. I like a couple artists. I like Baby Keem. That's really it in terms of artists I actually listen to from this list. But everybody seems to have an artist on the list. That's where the freshman list keeps itself relevant every year, is they always have one or two acts. But that's where you're right. They haven't had a lyrical artist in there or just an artist with any type of relevance in that nature. So it's changed.
Yeah, I mean, I fucks with Jack Harlow. There's some NLE Choppa songs that I fuck with. Um, I'm not a huge fan of Lil Keed. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he's ass by any means. I just don't enjoy all of his songs. Like I'm not always the one for him. Chica's probably my favorite on here, even though I listen to Jack Harlow more. I think she's the best rapper out of the group, and she has the most soulful music. Like there's some names on here, bro. I listen to almost all these guys, so it's weird to be upset about this. It's just like I would love to see more lyricism and content promoted by mainstream sources. I feel like
find a different way to do it. Don't
disencouragement.
do a freshman list anymore. Do something else, something that can.
Well, they're not going to be able to do this forever.
You would have thought
they won't be able to.
But I guarantee you, people were saying that 5 years ago, easily. People were saying you can't keep doing it, and this is what happens when they keep doing it.
They could do it another 5 years. I'm saying they cannot do this forever. Change is going to come. They're about to go on year 15, and I'm sure by year 20 they'll have a different format of how they do this.
They should already have a different format, though. Is the thing. Like this is not.
I agree. I completely agree. I mean, you can still even call it a freshman class, but you have to change up how you present it every year. Like you have to like. I even like the formats of how they used to do it more. Besides for the little interview aspects that they give now.
Yeah. There's just a lot, and there's a lot to it that I do like, and that is kind of cool about it. It's just the way that they've done it over the last couple of years. I've just almost become totally disinterested with the list in general. They do have good names on it, but it's almost like they fluke into those at times. Like Lil Uzi being on it at one point just seems like they fucking lucked into that. Like it doesn't. I don't know. Because he's like a megastar now. It just doesn't seem like shit like that is going to happen very often. So. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. I got a track with Mickey Fax, and he was a freshman in 2009. In the class with Wale, B.O.B., Ace Hood, Currency, and Kid Cudi.
That's the list that I remember. That's what got me into like B.O.B. and shit. So it's like that's
B.O.B.'s a beast. He's just weird as
and
hell.
He's gone all the way off the deep
bro.
end since then. So like, but back then I just like to have gotten into it then and to hear that list compared to what we have now. It's just like, man, I don't know. I don't see any of these guys being a Kid Cudi or anything like that. Like, and that's my biggest like thing about it is none of these are gonna be like superstar level talent. I don't feel like we'll have to wait and see. They're only freshmen, so I easily could be proven wrong. But we'll see.
I think Jack Harlow.
And I keep forgetting about him. I keep forgetting about Jack Harlow, and I feel bad about it. So I just don't have much of an opinion on him because I haven't listened to a lot of his music.
I hear that. I mean, he could be forgettable. I think he has superstar potential.
He just.
I think
I don't really mess with him.
He has superstar potential.
He could.
Me too. I think Polo G does. I guess Jack Harlow does. I just don't really like Jack Harlow.
That's where I'm at.
White privilege comes with a lot in hip hop, bro.
It's true.
What did you say?
He said white privilege comes with a lot in hip hop.
White fan base. If you're a white artist, you naturally sell more records on the industry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. No,
so
for sure.
He's going to benefit from white privilege, but he's also one of the rare white people that black people fuck with. You feel me? Like, he has a pass to any barbecue that he wants. So Jack Harlow, I think, can really be a superstar. It depends on how consistent
in terms
he is.
of, like, and this is in no way comparing music, but in terms of just the way that Jack Harlow's coming up, it reminds me of when Mac Miller was on the XXL list, where people were probably hating in the same way, or maybe not even hating, but didn't understand in the same way. But over time, I haven't listened to a lot of Jack Harlow, so I'm not trying to compare them musically, but it's very easy to compare two different white artists and see how because I'm not trying to compare them as artists. I'm just saying, like, in terms of buzz and popularity, like Jack Harlow just had a hit record and shit. So I don't know.
He reminds me more of MGK.
Okay, And
What?
but I don't get it, especially
Yo,
now
if
that he's been on Double
y'all
XL.
tonight, if anything, Jack Harlow reminds more of Paul Wall.
I don't know, man.
I don't know
Nah,
about
bro,
that.
it's Paul Wall. He's a little southern white kid who's got swag, grew up all around black kids, talk with a
And
southern
I'm just
accent,
trying to compare
and
the
is good in
buzz
the
for the
hood, man.
most part in terms of where they were at this stage. That's where I
I
don't
think
want
Mac,
to. I don't want to
I think Mac Miller was way
at
bigger than
at the
Jack
time
Harlow was
of
when he was a
I don't know.
freshman. Besides for What's Poppin', Jack Harlow isn't really that
But
big.
what's popping is pretty big. I don't know.
Now he is like he wouldn't have made the freshman class without What's Poppin' probably in the remix. You feel me?
No.
Like his career, that was a career changing moment. Which granted, you hope for one of those, but I think Mac Miller was a lot more established as an artist when he was when he got picked up.
That's fair.
And it's cause Jack Harlow was fucking with DJ Drama, and DJ Drama was getting him placements and shit.
Yeah, but he just.
I
Facts.
didn't say that's not what I meant. I just meant
I thought
like
you.
that's
I
why
thought you were saying like without DJ Drama, like he probably would have got picked up by somebody
he wouldn't have
regardless.
gotten that "What's Poppin" remix. Is what I'm saying. He wouldn't have gotten that remix with Lil Wayne and DaBaby and Tory
Bro,
Lanez without DJ
I
Drama.
saw a video of Lil Wayne. I think I disagree. I think I think you're underestimating how big that song was. I
Right.
think that's the biggest single of the year, personally.
I agree with that to an extent. There hasn't. It's
I
not
think
been a
What's
lot of
Poppin'
stiff
is the
competition
single
in
of the
terms
year,
of tracks that
and
have.
any artist would be dumb not to hop on the remix. And I heard a video of Lil Wayne saying how much he loved the song and Jack Harlow before the remix even happened.
And the remix is a big thing too. Like I don't know. Like I said, Jack Harlow is someone that I've overlooked, but I easily agree could be a standout off of this list over a lot of people on the list. So,
Yeah.
keeping it pushing though, we do have other shit we got to talk about. Last week, if you guys missed it, 2 Chainz and Rick Ross did their verses on Instagram Live. This one's going to be an interesting topic because I know Sheridan is going to argue pretty heavily that 2 Chainz won. But I think the general consensus online is that Rick Ross won. And did you?
That consensus online is
Am I wrong?
to me, I thought the general consensus online was that 2 Chainz won.
I don't
thought
know.
that they discredit him because of features, but if you counted the features, he won. I know that Rick Ross was killing him for a little bit, but when he started playing all them features, that's what I heard.
I saw a lot of like 13-7, 12-18 in terms of Ross. I could be wrong. But that's what I
Probably
think I
saw mad
saw. So
opinions. I don't know.
Nah, I
Was the
saw
official winner. I could Google who the winner was.
Billboard gave it to Rick Ross by 1.
Okay.
yeah, and I don't think it was a blowout
That's
at
what I was
all.
about to. That's
But
what I was about to look up.
I think more people gave it to Rick Ross that I saw, but I think it was like not even close, and 2 Chainz won.
That's I guess where the interesting discussion is going to come from because Sheridan doesn't think it was even close. I think that it definitely was close, and I don't know. I don't really know.
I think 2 Chainz bodied him. I think 2 Chainz destroyed him. I think Rick Ross surprised me in how well he did, but I still think he only probably got like 5 or 6.
Okay. So yeah, it definitely says it was 11-10 with 4 ties. So they played 25. And Rick Ross was the winner. I expected Rick Ross to win, but I wanted 2 Chainz to win. Rick Ross has like more resonating songs. 2 Chainz has more bangers, and he's worked with so many fucking people.
Ross just had so much more
I'm not a
versatility to it.
huge
I
Rick
thought.
Ross fan. I can't lie.
I thought that
What'd you say?
Ross brought a lot more versatility in terms of just different sounding music than Chainz brought to the verses. But I don't know.
I would expect Rick Ross to be one of the more people in a versus battle. I think he's a very analytical and thought out person. And I think something like this would mean more to him than a 2 Chainz victory. You feel me? I think Ross was really happy that he won this, and I feel like he feels it's a boss move, which he kind of is.
Oh yeah, he was trying to pull boss moves the whole night. Like that
was lit that he made with his friends. You feel me? He didn't even play the real fucking problems. Yeah.
So Sheridan, you're making faces over there. What are you thinking?
Sorry, my internet was being weird for a second. I think Rick Ross and Versatile don't belong in the same sentence. I think that in general, 2 Chainz in terms of songs brings much more versatility than Rick Ross does. I think Rick Ross
but when he's just playing
has
hits,
more of like a classic sound. I think Rick Ross has more of a classic sound, and that resonates with like more of like a hip hop head community, and I think that's why a lot of the like this is a really like bad comparison, but like to compare it to anything, it's like Fab and Jadakiss. Like Fab is more poppy kind of, and Jadakiss resonated more with like the streets, and that's kind of what happened with Rick Ross and 2 Chainz. I feel like Rick Ross has more of like a street fan base that people are going to really be behind him. And 2 Chainz has a lot of people that are fans of his music but they might not like go and tune into a versus battle like that because they listen to banger music and it's like they don't really, I don't know, that type of thing isn't on their radar as much as someone who's like a true hip hop head that's going to watch all these versus battles.
I hear that.
But I don't know. I feel like 2 Chainz has like just way more hits.
I don't think that's true at all.
I remember.
I think by the end of that, even Chainz was saying they're gonna keep bullying him. Like I don't think he had a whole lot more to bring when they were getting into the bonus rounds. So I think he had really exhausted a lot of what he had, and in terms of like there were a lot of tracks that Ross didn't play. So.
Yeah, there were a lot of tracks that Ross didn't play. So Rick Ross has 39 hits on the Billboard charts. I'm looking up Rick Ross's right now. 0 number 1s and 2 top 10s. Rick Ross has 49. He has 10
49
more,
top 10s?
With the same exact, he has 0 number 1s and he's got 2 top 10s as well. But he has 10 more hits in general. And as much as I don't really like Rick Ross, or like enjoy his music per se, he does make really good albums. He has a very good ear for beats, features, and he constructs his songs, organizes them very well. So I do think that he probably has more shit than 2 Chainz, but I think 2 Chainz shit is a lot more prolific, at least in terms of what he's been a part of. A lot of that's what features, but I don't know. Rick Ross to me is forgettable. 2 Chainz is a standout. That's how I feel, and I still think Rick Ross is a better rapper than 2 Chainz, but that doesn't really matter.
Sheridan quit
me
shaking his head so much at that point.
But if I don't like your music,
nah, I mean I think they're pretty comparable as rappers, but I agree that like
the reason why I would say it's comparable is because I've heard absolute fucking legends say that 2 Chainz is a top tier lyricist, and I still don't hear it when I listen to him. But I have to give him his props. Like there's something that I'm missing. I think the simplicity.
Well, he writes for a lot of people too.
Huh?
He writes for a lot of people too.
I'm sure if you heard 2 Chainz get on some conscious shit, or if he wanted to do a radio freestyle, he could snap. But I listened to 2 Chainz music, and besides for a couple witty punchlines, nothing is ever eyebrow raising besides like the simplicity of it. I think he dumbs his shit down a lot, and but I still don't. I think that Ross is more articulate. I think he paints a better picture.
Yeah.
And even has better punchlines sometimes. Like, I mean, 2 Chainz is a better punchline rapper. I'll give him that.
Yeah. 2 Chainz definitely has better punchlines, I think. But I do agree, like, Ross articulating. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I agree with that.
Yeah, Ross can paint a very good picture, bro, and he has a good voice for hip hop. He raps over
Yeah.
good beats. I just never was a fan. Kelsey, like, went off on me one day because I told him I ain't fuck with Rick Ross, and he thought it was like blasphemous for me to say. So I went back and listened to his discography. I was like, yo, he's better than I gave him credit for. Still doing nothing for me.
Yeah. I mean, I really liked him for a little while, but I never liked him as much as I liked 2 Chainz. Um, I know there are multiple 2 Chainz songs that, like, I will always fuck with. Not that I really go back and listen to 2 Chainz much, but there aren't many, like, Rick Ross songs that I'm gonna always be like, oh yeah, I fucking love that song. Like, I fuck with Stay Scheming, and that's probably it.
I heard Stay Scheming because of Los did a remix to it, and then Joe Budden did a remix to it, and so I listened to the original track. Like, once I hear a nigga kill your beat, it's their beat now.
I think it's interesting too. It looks like there was like 2 million people tuned into this overall, between Instagram Live and Apple Music. So it's cool to see that these things are continuing to gain more popularity. I know the Instagram Live version went out like 4 or 5 different times and was actually a really annoying experience at times. And the production value overall of what they did this time seemed to go down a little bit. But it's interesting to see so many people continuing to tune in, because that's what's going to bring in the superstar names like Ross and Chainz to keep doing something like this. It's interesting. It started during quarantine, and it's blossomed into this thing that's bigger than anyone ever thought it would be. So who knows what the next one's going to be?
Yeah.
Is this the most that's tuned in?
Maybe I think the Snoop Dogg and
I think it was
DMX
Snoop
was
and,
still more than this.
Yeah, I think it was Snoop and DMX.
And I think that matchup just I think people were more interested in that. I don't think that people were just the matchup between these two. I think people wanted to see Rick Ross versus someone and wanted to see Chainz versus someone, but maybe not against each other.
Nah, I would agree.
Yeah, it was a weird matchup.
You know who I would have liked to see? Ross versus Meek.
Yeah, but they would never do it. As much as I 100% agree, and it would be way more fun and like less of a battle and more of just like let's play a bunch of fucking music that sounds great together. But yeah, I agree.
I think Ross with fucking anybody in his lane. Anybody in his lane. And granted, he's kind of in his own lane. But you can put people.
But when it comes to that too, people don't want to go up against people in their own lane because they think that in their lane they're the best. So even up against so and so in the same lane is like a joke to them.
So make it interesting. That's my point. A lot of niggas would have a
it's lost
check.
That.
Who would you want to see 2 Chainz against?
Who would I want to see 2 Chainz against? That's a good question.
I don't really know off the top of my head.
There's no rapper to me like 2 Chainz almost in history. So whoever he goes against, he's gonna be like a style clash. Maybe like Big Sean.
Yeah, I feel like that's a decent
But in
one.
terms of that, I feel like he would smoke Big Sean.
Lyrically, Big Sean.
Really?
Big Sean.
I think so.
I don't know. I disagree. I think
they were both on Mercy, bro.
I like him better. I like him better than Big Sean, but Big Sean is a much better like rapper in terms of like what he's shown.
I think Big Sean.
No, I like Big Sean too. I just think in terms of like popularity and discography and the amount of tracks he has to go to that are bona fide hits by everyone, not just us or people who listen to a lot of music. I think in terms of that, Chainz has more music like that hits for everyone than Big Sean does.
Big Sean has a better record than Ross and 2 Chainz on Billboard history.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
He's got more top 10 hits. He's got just as many songs as Ross, but more top 10 hits than anybody.
So I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think that's another one kind of set failure, honestly.
2 Chainz might Like these are some tracks that Big Sean was on. Though, like he was on Mercy with 2 fucking clip Kanye and All Me. That's with 2 Chainz again and Drake. So that would be crazy to see which one of them played that, or if either of them did. Like, even though he has more, I think 2 Chainz could win because it's about your top 20. Like, once you get out of the 5-6 tracks that I just named, some of these aren't as impressive. He's got Holy Key though. Holy Key is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
dope.
wondering, because I feel like Big Sean will be one who eventually ends up on Versus, who they will pair him up against. Because I don't imagine 2 Chainz will be on there again. But I could see Big Sean pulling up for a Versus. I just don't know who he would end up being paired up against.
Logic.
Okay. I don't think Logic is doing it, bro. That's where I'm at. He retired. Unless it's on Twitch. He's changing the game. He's changing the game. It's got to go to Twitch.
I think the only nigga that makes sense to me for Big Sean, I got 3 names. It would be Meek Mill.
Yeah.
It would be Logic, or it would be Wale.
I could see those. I agree with those. Logic's a little weird to me, but I do understand it, and I think
Logic makes the most sense because they were, for a while, it was Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick, and then Logic and Big Sean in the back.
What I guess, I mean, maybe I never really saw Logic at that level, but I do understand why people could have.
I'm just talking. Nah, I'm just saying in terms of album sales and
Yeah.
popularity.
And at that point, that makes sense. The album sales and popularity point, that makes a whole lot more sense. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's. I can't put Logic in the same breath with any of those niggas, even though he probably has a better career than Big Sean.
Right.
You don't think he's a better rapper than Big Sean?
No. Fuck no. Big Sean.
They're both, yeah, I was going to say he's nice when he wants to be, but they're both nice when they want to be. So it's kind of, and
I would say Logic has a better flow, but I that's not even definitive. You feel me? Like, that Logic can do a lot of different things. He cannot outbar Big Sean. Are you kidding me? If you put Logic on the same track together, Big Sean will smoke his boots, bro. And Logic is a great rapper.
I think I don't
disagree.
know. I kind of agree. I agree with Ant, but I don't know.
Yo, listen to this. I bet you niggas never heard it. There's a track with Big Sean, Royce, and Kendrick Lamar. Shit is fucking bananas. Big Sean can rap with literally anybody, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
He up there can rap with anybody.
I agree with. I'm saying I agree in terms of him versus Logic. I think, like I said, I think they both can bring it when they want to, but I think that Big Sean would be better. I think he would. I don't know about smoke his boots, but I think he would be better because I think that Logic, when he really wants to rap, can rap nice too. But I think he was aiming way more for a mainstream pop appeal at some point and stopped just rapping the way he could rap.
But I've heard Logic albums since 6th grade. I've been listening to some, and I've been listening to Big Sean mixtapes just as long. You feel me? Like, when it comes to punchlines, I don't think Logic has ever said something as creative.
No, Logic repeats all his punchlines, so I agree with that point too.
In terms of what Big Sean does, he's very good at painting a picture. He's a good lyricist, but if you listen to what he says, bro, he specializes in internal rhymes, which unless you're somebody like Eminem or a crazy fucking battle rapper, it's gonna inhibit your ability to come up with some mind-boggling shit. You're limited because he's always trying to rhyme every word with every word.
I don't know. I don't think we'll ever see Logic.
I'm not gonna defend Logic.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see Logic versus Big Sean.
Smoke Joyner Lucas.
We can't just keep making up random verses to throw together unless we want to see these verses happen in a new Def Jam game. Apparently, Def Jam is coming out with a new game. So these games were.
Hold on. You know that allegedly.
Yeah, super allegedly. That's right.
super
that,
allegedly.
yeah,
That was a
you're right.
bullshit.
You should be. Thank you for catching me there, because it's probably not actually ever gonna happen. But apparently, people are talking about it. They've teased it on social media a little bit. They said when they get 1 million followers, they were gonna make a cool announcement. They got 1 million followers last I looked, and I did not see any cool Def Jam announcement. So this is way more of like a, if this happens, would this be dope? Would you be excited about it type of thing. I know the old Def Jam games were really dope. I think they would be really popular now. I just don't know how easy it would be to do, or necessarily the artists that would be available for this type of game anyway. So
We wouldn't if they did a new Def Jam today. A lot of the artists that we would want to be in it simply
yeah,
wouldn't be. It would be a lot of old characters mixed in with some of today's, which I would still absolutely
we
be
could
here
still
for.
see Big
Even
Sean
if they just
versus Logic
remastered one
in
of
a
the
Def
old
Jam
ones.
game. I'm just saying, I'm with it.
Yeah, if Logic had a blazing move, bro, that shit would be fucking crazy. Um, but I think this is just a really cheap promotional ploy, and I think it's fucked up. Cause right after they tweeted, "We have a surprise for you at 1 million followers," the next tweet was, "I've heard that people wanted a Def Jam
Yeah.
game. What characters would you want?" And that's just to get retweets. That's just to get reactions and hype. I think for whatever bullshit ass surprise you have coming.
If they put it together,
If
though,
anyone,
this would still be a dope roster. Like, it would still be a sweet fucking game.
it would be game of the year. They could make an ass Def Jam, and it would easily
Like,
be the
I'm going off Wikipedia, so it's not
game of
the best reference. But in terms of artists on Def Jam, like 2 Chainz, Big Sean, Kanye, like if they were able to get all of these artists in that game, it would be fucking sweet.
And there was always artists not on Def Jam in the
And
video
that's
games.
something I don't think
They
would
have no
happen at
limitation.
all.
They just got to get those individual
I find,
contracts.
and that would put it over the top, make it even better, I think. But I don't think that would happen, especially like I don't think the game's gonna happen at all. But if it were to happen, it would be pretty much just Def Jam artists only. I think it would be way too difficult for them to get, especially the bigger name artists, and at that point, it's not really worth it. But the artists that they could have on it would be a lot of fun. I would be all about it, but I do think that it's just a bunch of bullshit. But we've seen a lot of random games over the last couple of years be brought back, so it wouldn't be too surprising. There's been a lot of social media hype for it, so I would be all about it.
I'd be all
it would be
about
fun. It would be fun, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I used to whoop niggas' ass with Redman.
It would definitely be fun. So if they end up if that ends up being their big announcement, we'll definitely talk about it a little bit more in depth. But in terms of right now, really not something to get too in depth about. Something I saw people talking really in depth about was the track WAP that came out this weekend. You either loved it or you hated it, was essentially my take on it. Or I guess there were people like me who just didn't really check for it at all, because I just know that that's not going to be a song for me in terms of something I actually listen to a lot. We did listen to it for the show, and I thought it was a decent song. I thought it was a fun song. But what did you guys think? What did you guys think of people's overreacting to this? There was a senator, I want to say, who said all kinds of. He tweeted out some dumb shit. So they got some good publicity off of this one.
My nigga, we have been screaming to the window, to the walls, till the sweat dropped down my balls. We've been singing "Slob on My Knob" like corn on the cob, and is she gonna suck it or not? Since probably 9 years old, 10 years old.
Thanks.
I'm not a fan of female rappers or male rappers doing too many sexually explicit bars or gross, just overly vulgar lines. But the overreaction that dropped when this video came out was unbelievable. I thought it was almost like appalling. If you dislike the song, that's one thing, but a lot of people just proved to be misogynists, and I saw a lot of fake ass feminists get exposed. People that be women that be uplifting others in their community, but then bashing the first person with their tits out. It was weird. I think that people were completely focused on the wrong things. I'm not a fan of the song. Video was dope. People were mad about Kylie Jenner being in it. I thought that it was a clear statement and a power move by the label. Definitely clickbait in one sense, but also a way to, I think it hints at this Kylie and Meg situation with Tori at some way. I think it's up to the audience to interpret that how they will. I think that if there was genuinely a problem, though, Meg would not allow the video to come out with Kylie in it. So that's my takeaway from it. Video was dope. Song was cool. I like to see Cardi and Meg together. I'd love to see women supporting other women in hip hop. Y'all gotta get y'all shit together though. If this really turns your head or made you sleep at night, I don't know what to tell you.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, I thought the song was pretty garbage. I liked Meg's part. I did not like Cardi's part at all. The video was really dope though. But yeah, people are just ridiculous, yo. Like they will listen. I saw rappers who write sexual lines and bullshit all the time and put that shit out in their songs. Be like, oh, I don't like how these women are like being bad role models. Like, bro, that's the epitome of misogyny right there.
And hypocrisy.
Right.
Yeah, and hypocrisy. Exactly. But it's honestly ridiculous, and I'm vocal about my dislike for Cardi B. I really don't like her music. But that's not a reason to be a misogynist or to act like the way that she's going about things is any different than how men in hip hop have been, or in any genre of music have been going about things. So I think it's just clear who you are when you make those types of comments. So just know that we see y'all, and whether we say something or not, we know who you are, and y'all are misogynists. That's a fact.
Yeah, like
but
I don't be getting on those posts either and arguing with niggas about this song or even a lot of topics. Like if I think somebody is outwardly disrespectful, or if I think what I say has a chance of affecting how you feel, then I might say something. But I'm tired of wasting words on niggas. And if you're a misogynist, chances are I'm not going to be able to fix you from being a misogynist. But I will disassociate with you, at least publicly. I'll stop hitting you up. I ain't trying to smoke those blunts, nigga. Like, yeah, like there's a lot of people that be tripping out about the wrong things. It's almost like sexism, racism, classism. All those are fucking horrible. I'm not trying to hear none of that.
Facts. And
and some people are joking. I do want to put out. There's some people that think it's funny to just be trendy and shit on whatever people are shitting on, and I don't agree with it. But if you're making jokes and stuff, fuck it. Like I'm not gonna take personal offense to it. But there are some people that are genuinely disrespected. They feel disgusted that this is what children are watching and stuff. Like set TV parameters.
Right.
Edit, like make some guidelines. You could do that with modern day technology, because you could do that when I was a kid. You could put age restrictions and shit on stuff. So if you're mad about kids, put it on the parents.
Yeah.
Cardi B, if she's your 6-year-old's role model, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a fact. And that's, like, that goes for all artists in general. Like in a way, yes, they assume the role of role models, but no artist gets into it to be a role model, or they don't ask to be a role model at all times. Not everyone, and especially not at all times. Like some artists do try to present a role model type attitude, but to even maintain that 24/7, like if you had a camera on them, people do make mistakes and shit. So I think it's wild.
I would say besides for Cardi's come up, she has done an amazing job being a role model for other female artists. An amazing job. She has done stuff that I wish Nicki Minaj had done at an early stage in her career, and other female acts, and showing them that it doesn't take one person or not only one female can be at the
And that's
top.
a great point,
You feel
because
me?
and to that point, like, because she has done shit like that doesn't mean she can't embrace her sexual side just as much as any artist wants to too. You know what I mean? Like, because she has done stuff that is role model-esque, but if you're a fan of her and she's your role model, or the things that she's doing to bring communities together inspires you, you shouldn't just immediately be turned off based upon what she's doing here in this video. So I'm sure Sheridan could find other things about Cardi for you to be turned off about her vibe, but this music video is not
the most well-spoken person, and she has a questionable past. If you dig into it, but a lot of people do. She always uses her platform to educate whenever there's something current going on. She's always like she's speaking up on issues as well, whether or not it's like it's with broken English and with slang. Like she's always trying. So I fuck with Cardi B. I don't listen to her when I'm by myself. But I do think when I'm in the club, she has a couple tracks that I'll get lit to. I fucks with her. Long story short, and
yeah, nah. I mean, I definitely don't fuck with her. I do agree though that she does put out like, nah. I like she's done things that I have fucked with though. More so recently, I agree.
Even this, like, even though the track itself wasn't the greatest, like them coming together and making a track is still a moment. Like,
yeah, I agree. It's a milestone. I think it's very important for women. It's a good sign for music in general,
and
that
like
women are going to
Nicki,
be
who
coming together.
has issues with her alleged issues with Cardi, was like pumping this up because of Meg. Like that's what makes it a moment too. Is it's bringing together people who really weren't together at all. So it's cool. It's not for me. It's not a track I'll listen to all the time. So I'm not gonna have an argument in saying I think it was good, because it was all right. I get it. It can be. It's just definitely not for me. It's for the right time and place, and that ain't it for me. But it's a decent track. And the overwhelming reaction from people just got it more publicity and more attention than it probably would have gotten, which at the end of the day was probably their point. So people just fed into what they were probably expecting and wanting. So if you did that,
so
like,
fucking stupid.
yeah, exactly, so fucking stupid.
It's just like 6ix9ine. It's just like 6ix9ine.
Yep. It is very similar.
To a certain extent, it's the same thought.
Pushing for reaction, like trolling for reaction type shit.
But the reaction,
100%.
It's just shock. It's just a shock value.
No doubt.
The video was constructed beautifully. Like if you're mad because
the video was dope.
It was amazing. If you're mad because Kylie Jenner was there and not some already not rich or famous person that deserves the spotlight. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. People like the fact that there's a couple 100,000 signatures on a petition to get her removed from the video.
That's already been shot. Like, what a fucking waste of time.
Do you know what petitions are out there, people? Like, do you know
it's hilarious.
Do you know what petition you could have signed?
No doubt.
Like, fuck out of my face.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I totally agree with that.
No doubt.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's all crazy.
People got...
It's crazy. We're not going to spend any more time on that. We've got some local tracks to play from a couple dope artists, quite a few dope artists, actually. We're going to start with your track, Ant, Get Back. You want to go ahead and let people know who that's by and what it's about?
Let's get it. So I showed you guys Scory last time that we played some tracks. I found out about this kid same day that I found out about Scory. This kid is from Rochester. If you look at his Spotify, you wouldn't tell that he's like really, really popping. If you go to his YouTube, every video got 100K about, and he's almost bound to get 100K within a month if he drops a video. So he's got some real big buzz out in Rochester. I hit him up for a feature. I'm not gonna pay him $1,000 for the feature. But I can still listen to his music from afar and enjoy it. I'm curious to think what you guys have to hear on him. His name's Lil Perko.
Bet we got to judge it, and the listeners got to judge it now. Is this a $1,000 feature? We got it, Lil Perko.
That's 100 points.
spin the block, we gon' swear it back. I lost my dog, I can't get him back. I've been working hard, tryna earn that. Yes, he tryna fuck my dog, but some get back. We gon' spin the block, we gon' swear it back. I lost my dog, I can't get him back. I've been working hard, tryna earn that. Yes, he tryna fuck my dog, but some get back. I'm in the stew and I'm just thinking, I can talk about some real shit. I'm in the jungle with them lions on some kill shit. You playing with my niggas, swear to God, they get you killed. Went in the clip right to his chest, I swear to God, we on some drill. I just got off FaceTime with Lil Baron. He told me you gon' be a star, we ain't dark in the eyes. Brody took one to the head, and he had it parked. I'm in the stew, I'm locked in, cause I'm going hard. I'm tryna make it. I tell my mama I ain't never gon' base it. These niggas hate, they buy my flow, they tryna trace it. She gon' only fuck you for them Benny Franklins. She see I'm up and all that bitch, she want my baby. Things change, people change, this shit crazy. Yeah, every time I turn my back, you try to play me. These niggas hate, yeah, I know they wanna take me. Shout out the struggle, swear to God, yeah, that's what made me. We gon' spin the block, we gon' swear it back. I lost my dog, I can't get him back. I've been working hard, tryna earn that. Yes, he tryna fuck my dog, but some get back. We gon' spin the block, we gon' swear it back. I lost my dog, I can't get him back. I've been working hard, tryna earn that. Yes, he tryna fuck my dog, but some get back. It's crazy how they put me last, these niggas know that I'm the token. And I'm riding with that on, I had to notice I was chosen. I know some homies in them trips, flipping quarters to a brick. Man, I do this for my city, nigga, I'm a represent. Got your homies plotting on you, cause they thinking you a lick. If you ain't talking about no money, nigga, you irrelevant. He don't wanna see you win, that nigga try and benefit. Had to learn to get her comfortable, come on my element, yeah, that's a different me. I come from nothing, we was starving, I'm a different breed. I told my mama I'ma make it, she know I'm a beast. They let me off the leash, free my nigga keys. And yeah, I'm knowing life a bitch, that's why she married me. It's a cold world when you feeling all alone. Grandma took me to that church, but I couldn't stay off my phone. And my mama doing doubles just to keep them lights on. Now them chains hitting, nigga, let me turn them lights on. We gon' spin the block, we gon' swear it back. I lost my dog, I can't get him back. I've been working hard, tryna earn that. Yes, he tryna fuck my dog, but some get back. We gon' spin the block, we gon' swear it back. I lost my dog, I can't get him back. I've been working hard, tryna earn that. Yes, he tryna fuck my dog, but some get back.
That's Get Back by Lil Perko. That was dope. Honestly, I'm super unfamiliar with who he is, so I'm glad that you brought that to our attention, Ant. I made a bit of a joke about his feature request, but and I'm not saying it's very interesting because it was a good track, and I don't blame dude for trying to leverage what he has going on YouTube and everything, but I don't blame you for not wanting to spend that much, but it was a good track. I can't, like, it's funny because sometimes you get people like that who want to charge so much for a feature or whatever, and they're just ass. He's not ass, but you can't blame you for wanting to budget your money better, and I can't blame him for trying to leverage what he's got going on, because I'm guessing
No doubt.
Like so it makes sense.
And I think he's like 18 or 17.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he's young. He's real young. This is probably my favorite song by him. If every single song that he dropped was this quality, I would pay him a band. I'd rather pay a band than somebody. I still might. Like, to be honest, I was talking to Kels about it, and Kels said, like, it's worth it if you think it's worth it. He laughed when I told him the price too. Then I showed him the music. I showed him the views. I'm not here to talk about his value, but the song in general, he has a very, very industry sound. He has pain in his voice. You can hear the emotion. Some of the lyrics are very simple. That's some of the things I wish that they weren't as generic. But some of them I also get goosebumps on. So it's like it's a cool little combination.
The end of that song. End of that song especially. The end of that, like, I thought the hook wasn't crazy to me, but his verses I thought hit really hard.
I think the hook slaps. It's just generic. You feel me? He's not saying too much. Like, I lost my dog. She tried to fuck my homies. Like, get back. Like, you feel me?
I just think. Well, I think my favorite thing about him was pretty generic too. The melody was pretty generic. I thought the melody was generic.
Yeah, but it's also what works. It's generic. It's nothing crazy special.
But it works.
But if you're in upstate New York, that is special. once you get to the industry, you're a little bit less special. You feel me? So Son is dope.
The last verse was crazy. The last
I'm glad
verse was
that you
crazy.
rock with the song. Both of you.
Yeah, that was dope. I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for what he's got coming next. We've got another track. This one is gonna be a little bit different. I got this one sent to me within the last couple of days. They thought that they knew they were late for the competition, but they were trying to send something anyway. I told them they were late for the competition, but we're definitely down to play Lil Skeptic's track on the podcast. I'm curious to see what you guys think. And probably just more of like a, well, we'll just see what you guys think. We got Lil Skeptic, Red and Gold.
Said I got a lot of enemies, one of them's a friend of me. Oh, I don't say too much, yeah, you don't know the rest of me. Never gonna run, no one ever get ahead of me. Let's just have some fun, not the perkies or the ketamine. Just real love, okay, yeah, let's have fun. Either way, yeah, just real love. Okay, said not of drugs, okay, yeah, not of the perkies, ketamine. Oh, thought you wouldn't hurt me, testing me, oh, might just have to envy. Let's see, said time don't change me, make me. Yeah, I'm seeing red and gold. I'm just watching her shit glow. Drip so icy, I'm so cold. Oh, that's my wifey, we like snow. Yeah, got 10 bands on me right now. If she want it, we go down. Take her shopping, take her out. Might catch a body if you stick around. Not off the perkies, ketamine. Oh, thought you wouldn't hurt me, testing me. Oh, might just have to envy. Let's see, said time don't change me, make me. Girl, why you gotta go right now? Acting like you don't even know me, wow. Pulling up fast, I'ma take you down. Getting off track, let me take you out. She stay calling when I whip through town. I don't ever get why you want me now. Take her back, I can have this now. That's a wrap, cause I don't all the pain gon' fade away if I don't do this the right way. I wanna live, I can't escape. I'm showing love, they throwing hate and they don't want, but I'ma give it either way. I won't budge, can't hesitate. Not off the drugs, in my own state. I just need a minute to get my head straight. All the thoughts inside my brain, I don't know I'm dealing or if I'm okay. I got hope all in my fate, but I can't tell either way. Said I got a lot of enemies, one of them's a friend of me. Oh, I don't say too much, yeah, you don't know the rest of me. Oh, never gonna run, no one ever get ahead of me. Oh, let's just have some fun, not the perkies or the ketamine. Just real love.
That's Red and Gold by Lil Skeptic. And there's still actually like another minute left. I'm not going to play the whole track because it is a little long. And I
you would have let that rock.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. But I wasn't loving it. And that's kind of why I wanted to play it in terms of like, this was sent in for a competition episode. I kind of think that that's a little questionable. Like, I don't think that it was just maybe... Like, this was an 8-month-old track, too. This kid is, like, 18. He's from Ithaca. So here comes my Ithaca bias. But, no,
Yo, did you say Lil Skeptic?
Skeptic.
Yo, I know this kid. I don't know him, actually, but I know this kid. He says he has a song with Lil Yachty.
Waiting for it. Because, like, this was whatever. This was all right.
Where did he say that?
He told me personally that he has a song with Lil Yachty.
Damn, now Ant's the one out here dropping news on the podcast instead of sharing. Dropping them gems, Ant.
Son, I mean, he said it's going to come out. He didn't tell me to keep it on the low. So, I'm sorry. I have to take his word for it that
I believe
it exists, but I'm also expecting it to come out.
What'd you guys think of this track?
Sheridan, you go first.
It was pretty bad. When the vocals first came in, like he was like singing or something before he was rapping, it was terrible. He started coming in like rapping a little bit. I was like, okay, like this is all right. And then just as it got on, it continually got worse. The vocals were pretty bad. The lyrics were pretty poor. The delivery was pretty bad.
Were there any redeeming
yeah,
qualities to you?
The 20 seconds after he stopped moaning at the beginning and started rapping.
Nah. Yeah. I guess the very beginning,
Of the
like
rapping,
the first
not
like
the very
5
beginning
seconds
of
after
the
he was
beginning.
moaning. Yeah, like he was moaning, that was awful. And then like he started rapping a little bit, and I was like, okay, this isn't terrible. And then it just got terrible progressively. But if he has a song with Lil Yachty, then hats off, because
That's what
I don't know how he did that.
I mean. And granted, when you said a Lil Skeptic from Ithaca, we have to be talking about the same person.
I can't imagine there's very many
He's
Lil
like
Skeptics from Ithaca.
Yeah, exactly. We have to be talking about the same person.
He's like this. He's like a little white kid.
Yeah, but there's a lot of little white kids running around, bro.
But name Lil Skeptic.
You know,
there's probably more than
surprised.
one little white Lil Skeptic. But this track, in terms of like, there were some parts where I was like, this could be better if it just sounded better overall. But I enjoyed some pieces, but it was literally momentarily, like with him going for different melodic sounds. In general, it wasn't a track I really enjoyed. And the sound quality really wasn't good. I know I don't speak a whole lot on like mixing and shit like that, but it didn't sound like it was very done at all or done very well. And in terms of sending stuff like that into the competition episodes, like I would rather you guys just hold those ones. We're getting like mixed and mastered songs for the competition episodes. Like in terms of like, honestly, and I'm not even trying to be like a dick, but this is we're talking about people's best tracks. That's what we're asking for, is people's best tracks. If you don't have it, if you haven't put really any money into it, unless you're someone who can mix, master, record, do all that shit yourself, then it's probably not worth your time sending it in, because it's not gonna place, because we're getting tracks that did have that done to it. They're getting recorded at studios, or they're getting it mixed at studios, or mastered, or anything. If you're not doing any of the above, then you're kind of just wasting your time and ours, and then coming at us in the comments like, why didn't I get picked? And it's like, I don't know, man. So, I do appreciate getting a track.
I don't have a problem with if you send us what you feel is personally
it
your
had
best
the most
track,
views. That's why I know for a
end up
fact that's why
having
he
good
did it. It
mixing,
had the best stream.
or it's a bad song in general, I'm not actually that mad, or I don't think it's a waste of time. I get mad when artists have better music than what they sent in,
That's
or
fair.
whether they feel entitled to a top 12 spot when their music wasn't reality top 20 of the songs we got. You feel me? Nobody is entitled to any spot that we get, regardless of what type of friendship I may or may not have with you or anybody else in the podcast, going strictly off the best music. So if you just don't end up having great music, I can live with that. You might end up getting played as a snippet. Niggas might laugh at you. You might get played at the end of the podcast as the outro.
Shout out to Jacos.
So you could get some free promo if Andrew's trying to be a dick.
That was good shit.
But just
I don't want to discourage people
song
from sending tracks in, but I do think that like you have to understand what you're putting yourself up against. If you just want the feedback, 100% great. I'm down to give feedback all day.
I don't want you to not compete at all.
Yeah.
Because you think somebody else is bound to have better music.
Yeah.
I'll listen to 20 shitty tracks, 30 shitty tracks if
we
we
listen
get
to
them,
all of them.
but don't expect the in-depth analysis on all of them, or 12 or a top 12 spot. That's
exactly.
it.
But
Facts. Agreed with all that.
But again, shout out to him for sending a track in. Like I said, I know for a fact because I just looked at it. It was based off his streams. He had the most streams on this one, so that's why he sent it in. But go with what you think is your best song. Don't just go with what all your fans have sent you. So
yeah, you should have went with the Lil Yachty song, bro.
That's a fact. That is a fact, and
You
that
should've
is
went with
how
the
we
little
will
guy.
end the Lil Skeptic conversation. Sheridan, we got a track from you up next. This was one of the new ones that just released. We talked about it at the top of the show. You want to go ahead and present it for everybody?
Yeah, this one's Frozen by K. Kelly. I just ended up checking it out today. I think this is pretty good. One of my favorite ones he's put out. But I want to know what you guys think.
Bet, let's get it.
K. Kelly's dope. I've already heard this, but I'm excited to peep it again.
You're way too cold, are your feelings back? 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 We ended on that last call that you left me on. Freezing rain, watch the pain from my face until my feelings gone. You know I'd walk on fire for it, but you never come and cool me down. How could I trust you? How did I need you? How did it happen to me? Was slowing in time, slowing in mind. Remember the prize. One body in line, now we divide. Shit is a lie. Give me the time, crossing the line. You could have tried. You're way too cold, are your feelings back? 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 We ended on that last call that you left me on. Freezing rain, watch the pain from my face until my feelings gone. You know I'd walk on fire for it, but you never come and cool me down. How could I trust you? How did I need you? How did it happen to me? Was slowing in time, slowing in mind. Remember the pride.
And that was Frozen by K. Kelly. I want to say I'm familiar. I've heard at least a couple of tracks, but does he normally make music like this, or is this a little bit of a change up for him?
No,
Yeah, it's a change up,
it's a
right?
change
That's what I
up.
thought. This was pretty cool. I'm definitely not gonna act like this is something that I would listen to all the time. It's a little bit slower than what I generally listen to, but I'm not gonna knock it and say it was a bad track at all. It was pretty dope. And it's cool to see people try something different. Especially if it's not what's typically in their lane. What do you think of it, Ant?
I loved it. You might have heard a track with me and K. Kelly. The first two tracks that I dropped of 2020 were with K. Kelly. One of them was Back to the Bag that he produced. The other one was called Open Up Your Eyes, and he was actually on it, and he produced it and mixed it. So like, he's dope. He's somebody that I've known for a while, but I wasn't too familiar with him. He was actually at my first rap battle. He was there just playing the back. So I met him back then. Didn't get too associated with him till this year. He's coming with a vengeance. He's dropped a lot of quality music recently. With his man's Vegas, they have a couple collabs that have been really dope. To see an artist with his type of repertoire and resume come out and make something like this so effortlessly, it was refreshing to hear almost. This is different than everything that I've ever heard from K. Kelly, but I'm not gonna act like I couldn't see this coming. I just didn't expect that if he made a song like this, it would be this natural. I've heard him be on his slower vibe, but not all. This was very R&B like to me. Like it was less rap and hip hop and more R&B to me. You feel me? Because of the tempo and the melodies he was saying. He jumped into this bag very effortlessly. So hats off to homie. I think I'm gonna throw. I gotta see if it fits the playlist right now. But I think I'm gonna throw this in the Upstate Essentials.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really dope track. It's cool to see him, like I said, continuing to do his thing. Yeah. And you got the.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
You want to say any? Do you want to
Definitely
go
like
any
it a
more in
lot.
depth on it, Sheridan, or should we keep it pushed to the next track?
Oh nah, I think it's a really great track, and I think he should keep experimenting.
Yeah, like
in
that's
that
something
direction
that's
for
cool,
sure. That's all I would
and
really
for him,
say.
it's got to be dope to get that type of positive feedback. Because when you try something new as an artist, you don't really know what type of feedback you're gonna get, and when you're listening as a consumer, like I said, I haven't heard a ton of his music, but to have heard it, and I was like, wow, this is way different than I think. Well, maybe not way different, but different than what I've heard him do before. So it's cool to see him experiment and it to come out so good. So that's dope. And the next track we have lined up is a track that is actually featuring you. It just dropped this week. You want to give a little bit of a background on you? You're on the hook, right?
Yes, sir. This is actually the first track that I ever did for a feature or first song somebody ever reached out to me for to just do the hook on it. It's Spaceship with Dustin and Alonzo Brunn. I think that easily one of my favorite Dustin tracks. I may be biased, but Alonzo fucking destroyed this. He snapped on the verse. I don't want to speak too much on it. We'll review it. Just know it's available on all platforms. You can access it from the link in any of my bios on social media. And I'd love to hear what y'all think about it. To my knowledge, it's performing very well. It's on the most viewed track, which will make sense.
Bet, let's get it. Spaceship.
Yeah, it's Dustin. Shout my man Ant. They know I'm on my shit, I ain't even gotta say it. Smoking on the sour got me feeling so amazing. Life ain't a game, so you know I'm never playing. Every beat I get to slaying with the words that I be saying. I'm a beast on the beat with this mic, I'ma eat 10 toes, 2 feet, how I stand, never weak. I'm a geek, I be up all hours, I don't sleep. She a freak, she gon' let me bend it over like a crease. And I hit it from the side, yeah, she know that shit my favorite. Smoking on the sour, meditating from the fragrance. Blooming like a flower, you could never stop a tame it. I'm dripping like a shower on the beat, I'm going ape shit. Yeah, plus I got a lot of shit to say. A lot of people hating on me, I'm just trying to find a way. They don't see that I've been out here really grinding every day. Cause I got the juice and I ain't even talking Minute Maid. Ayy, I write a verse and then erase it. Smoking on exotic, probably gone, I'm in a spaceship. I'ma keep on grinding cause I know that I'ma make it. You can never stop me, little bitch, I'm too invasive.
Cook a nigga, let it sizzle in the pot. Told the plug, just give me what you got. Just give me what you got. Chase son, have him dipping up the block. Machiavelli, get the feeling that I'm pop. Get the feeling that I'm shit slap, peep the rhythm when it knock. Boys soft, you a witness for the cops. You a witness for the cops. Kept some rubber bands in the basement. Pull up, yeah, we land in the spaceship.
Get inside, take a ride, catch a vibe, that's the motion. Jesus, take the wheel, but first tell me where we're going. I'm a motherfucking bastard, we too motherfucking potent. I don't ever like to be bothered when I'm smoking. Playing with my money, then you play with my emotions. Niggas acting funny when then we start joking. The ghetto was a neighborhood before they let the dope in. But I'ma get my profit if you fuckers gonna smoke it. You on your spaceship now, I'm on my high horse. Don't be a dipshit, your drugs ain't to die for. What I got's to lie for, you try something and tried more. Chamberlain's O, because my board's the high score. Nigga, I spent my whole summer in space. I'm cold, nigga, I'm great. My old number is 8, my hoes number they days. You lost running the maze, I'm boss starting the day. I'm putting you in your place. This that kickback thing. We stopped going out because we did that scene. My favorite custody died, but I missed that fiend. The 2015 Mets, yeah, I missed that team. Got on my spaceship, a nigga left the galaxy. These niggas program robots with low batteries. Niggas dying every day and murder is the casualty. There's snakes in the grass, but that shit'll never rattle me. God.
Ant, you said this one was performing well with the verse that Zoe spit there. It makes sense. This was a good track, like you said, probably one of your favorite Dustin tracks. I think that Dustin, he did his thing. But Zoe really fucking shines on this one. It's hard to deny the fact that Zoe absolutely shines on this one. But kudos to Dustin for still releasing it. Some people will get a verse where or they'll be on a track with someone who is just bodying it, and will decide to rewrite everything or just shelf it entirely. I know that this was an older track for Dustin. I want to say, right, Ant? This is a little bit older at least. So
we recorded this probably a year ago.
So I mean,
I'm gonna say, let me check. We dropped OG in 2009.
2019.
And he said we recorded this the same session as OG. So it's probably even more than a year ago now. That's crazy.
And so but
Yeah.
What do you think, Sheridan?
I love Zoe's verse. I really like Ant's part. Dustin, and I've told him this before, I really like when he gets more personal, when he gets more lyrical. I will say, like, the more times I hear it, it grows on me. But I'll be honest, his verse didn't do a whole lot for me. And Dustin knows it's all love for him. But I just think he knows how I feel about when he gets lyrical. I think that he's actually a really solid rapper. I just want to see him do more of that, I guess. And again, because this is an older song.
Like I agree, Zoe shined on this song completely. Like Zoe went harder than he had to by like collided. It's one of my favorite Zoe verses, period. And I've heard a lot of music by Zoe. He doesn't do that many features. You feel me? Like doing features, weird thing to give one of your best verses in 20 bars on some random track for a kid that you don't even know. Because I don't think Zoe knows Dustin at all. He's just a fan of Dustin's just a fan of Zoe's music. I think that he snapped on this. This song sat for so long because I didn't want to do the second verse. Dustin wanted me to do the hook and then the verse. I was like, nah, because I love the beat. I would have loved to do a second verse, but I thought that it could have been a real cool posse cut element. We went through a couple different artists. We almost had Blick on this instead of Zoe. I can't remember who else, but I like how it came out. I think Dustin can always do a better job. This is an older track. It would have been dope
that's what I was gonna
to have him write something modern or like up to date, and then go into the studio and rap, especially after hearing Zoe's verse. But even though this isn't Dustin's best display of lyricism, I still think it's one of his best songs. I think that he did a really good job of constructing it, which granted, all you have to do is ask you for a feature. You have to get the people together. You have to pick where they're gonna go. I think he did I think this is one of the most important songs.
That's a fact.
I hope it gets him some looks from some other people.
Yeah, no doubt, and it should get Zoe some looks from some other people too. That's the type of features he's willing to do. I mean, and that's the problem, is you're gonna have to twist his arm to get him to actually do a feature for you. But shit, dude, that was a dope verse from him, and like I said, Dustin did his thing on it too. But yeah, so a great track from him. And I love seeing what Dustin continues to do. It's cool to see that that's him a year ago, because we have heard tracks of his more recently. That's why I agree with you to an extent that I would have loved to have seen him go in and create something more modern. But you never you get the thought process between some artists. They never want to rewrite, and there's a whole debate within that too that we just won't get into. So I get it 100%, and it's a fine song, so it works out. The next track we have is actually an Upstate exclusive. It's from Corey Loveless. He sent me this right before the competition episode started. It's a track called My Favorite Drug. This is a really this is an interesting track. Actually, I haven't heard the whole thing, so I'm curious to see exactly what it is from Corey. So here we go.
My favorite drug is a cheering crowd. I slave every day, do work just to hear you proud. My favorite drug is to be renowned. Rocky on the stairs, you fuckers couldn't beat me down. I wanna get likes, be like this. Love on a page, really love in real life. I wanna get likes, be like I stood on a stage and felt the rush through a mic. A fiend is a fiend, monsters based in validation. In need on my knees, in reach of aspiration. Shit believed in my teens, became imagination by the dream that's achieved solely through creation. See, there's artistry and there's marketing. In order to be popping, those parts should be in harmony. Do I do this for the love or for the people commenting? Cause over my time, the numbers have taken charge of me. I mean, blunt smoke is such an easy hit. I need the kind of hit that only Billboard will let you get. I've smoked the strongest weed, song heard really loud. I remember a younger me that was writing for the love before there was love for me. Shit, a good 16 was really enough for me. Putting pen to the page to hear what was done to me, yeah. But they were yelling your shit's trash. I was rocking hand-me-downs, colors were mismatched. And that's why I've been so focused on hit tracks. I've been way too focused on getting back to get back. My favorite drug was to write it down. I'd slave every day to work just to make me proud. My favorite drug was to get it out, compile all the pain just so I could let it out. I wanna get likes, be like this. Love on a page, worth the love for what I write. I wanna get likes, be like I stood on a stage and was scared I wasn't tight. It's the fear I'm not good, the fear of a trash song, the fear that I'm weak, the fear that I'm not strong, the fear that once again I'm in a place I don't belong, the fear of every person saying that I'm wrong. So on occasion I smoke some weed, on a weekend I might just drink. But my drug is the love I need, and the love came from you when it needed to come from me. Shit. On occasion I'll smoke some weed, on a weekend I might just drink. But my drug is the love I need, and the love came from you when it needed to come from me.
So that's an exclusive preview of My Favorite Drug from Corey Loveless. Not sure exactly when or if or how that will drop, but I imagine it could be coming down the pipeline soon. I like I said, I got that track a while back, but I just got the chance to listen to it with you guys, and I really, really liked it. But it also becomes really hard to talk about Corey without saying the same things we've already said. So what did you guys think?
You go first, Sheridan.
So I like this track. I think it's a really like a personal track, for Corey. But in terms of like what his best tracks are, I wouldn't put it up there as like one of his top 5. I think that this track that he submitted to the competition was definitely like one of his best tracks. But in general, it's definitely a track that I like by Corey a lot. And when he puts it out, it'll be something I listen to more, because I think what's cool about Corey is he articulates things in a way in his music that I've never really heard another rapper do it quite the same way that he does it. So I think he's a really like interesting and unique artist in that way. So I'm definitely excited to hear this track come out.
I would have to agree with you on that. I think Corey articulates himself in a way that very few people I've ever heard in history do. But like Andrew said, it does get hard to talk about Corey without giving him the same criticisms that we've always have. He's very well aware of it. so I don't want to beat a dead horse. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure if he's trying to one take everything. I'm not sure if he punches it in the studio. But once he gets his flow down to where every single line is just hitting boom, boom, it's gonna bring out how good of a lyricist he actually is and how personal some of the songs that he's making actually are. Sometimes it's a detriment to himself because he really is a true lyricist. He's gifted with words in a way that I don't really know too many people that are around here. He's consistently getting better too. I don't know where Corey's ceiling is because he's constantly improving as a rapper. I would agree this isn't one of my favorite Corey tracks. I don't think it's his best track. I think there was a lot of really dope euphemisms, really good imagery. He painted a great picture for me. Some of the punchlines even hit pretty hard. I'm not sure what it was. It was quiet. I'm not sure if it was quiet to you guys too.
Yeah, it's kind of quiet.
It was hard. It was harder to hear for me than a lot of the other music. But I was able to hear every line. I'm just not sure if that's something to do with how you
that
played
could
it,
have been
Andrew,
on me.
or if that's actually
100%. That
What'd you
definitely could have been on me. I don't know exactly if I had it leveled out at the right point, but I might have had it turned down too low. So there's a chance.
Okay. Facts. I was just gonna say if that's how quiet it is when it drops, that should be changed. I wouldn't be able to play that out my speaker and bump, but I don't want to put that on Corey because I'm not
put
sure
it on
if
me.
it's
I'm
his
good.
fault. All right, so
Yeah.
fuck you, Andrew. Sorry. But yeah, just like you said, it's hard to not talk about the same criticisms. But if I didn't give those type of compliments to the track, I would be doing it a injustice.
That's a fact, 100%. I just like to see the.
How did you?
I just
feel
like to
about
see
it?
the growth with Corey. When I first heard of Corey and first checked out his music, I thought he was just gonna be like sad boy type music. So to see that he's not at all and is a lot more of like a lyrical artist, and what he continues to bring to the table, I really like. The more like I don't really know Corey super well, but the more I listen to his music, the more I know Corey because of what he's lived or what he's been through. And it's not always that simple with artists, especially in upstate. It's a lot more of the cliche rhymes you hear about. Corey doesn't. He might use cliche stuff here and there, but it's generally like shit that he's been through in a way that is musically entertaining, and I like that. And so it's cool to see, like you said, we don't know the ceiling for him because I could really see a lot of big things for him. It's just a matter of time. So I really like it. I do think that there are obviously things that could be better about it. But yeah, overall, it's Corey's good. I do agree. Not his best song, but I really like the consistent introspect of Corey's life that I get every time I hear his music. So it's hard for me to say anything is really bad because I like that shit. So
exactly. You learn about him more and more every song he does.
No doubt. And that was an Upstate exclusive. The next track we have is an Upstate exclusive. Sheridan has brought us a little something to preview for everyone. Sheridan, you want to tell people about this one?
So this is a track I got off of Joe Merrifield. I think he produced this as a collab. I can't remember the other producer he made this with. But I had this mixed by Process pretty recently, recorded it pretty recently. So this is called Won't Say, produced by Joe Merrifield. Let me know what you guys think.
We almost went a whole episode without talking about Process. He snuck his way in there. Here we go.
It's getting serious, really. I gotta stop acting silly. Girl, do you feel me? I gotta stop popping pillies. Promise that I'll get some help. Swear that I'm loving you dearly. I had to get out the city. Know that I'm coming back home. Don't say it's too late. Don't close up the gate. Let's clean up the slate. But you done just like that. She said she had to go away. She left me standing in the rain. Unload my demons, I'm a face. I get consumed by all the pain. She said she had to go away. She left me standing in the rain. the best. I still gotta want me, fuck on the faster. Come true, only stay the night when I ask her. Singing together, although I'm a rapper. Let's leave the past in the trash, girl, so we can take it on now. Baby, you know it's a mad world. Know that I'm missing that mouth. Yeah, whoa. No, I'm missing you around. Trying to stay friends now, how that sound. Still acting sneaky, what I found. Now I know what you are. This getting serious, really. I gotta stop acting silly. Girl, do you feel me? I gotta stop popping pillies. Promise that I'll get some help. Swear that I'm loving you dearly. I had to get out the city. Know that I'm coming back home. Don't say it's too late. Don't close up the gate. Let's clean up the slate. But you done just like that. She said she had to go away. She left me standing in the rain. Unload my demons, I'm a face. I get consumed by all the pain. She said she had to go away. She left me standing in the rain. Unload my demons, I'm a face. I got a lot that I won't say. I got a lot that I won't say. I'm burning up quick, you're the propane. Girl, I'm feeling sick, why'd you go away? I know that you'll miss all the old days. I got a lot that I won't say. I'm burning up quick, you're the propane. Girl, I'm feeling sick, why'd you go away? I know that you'll miss all the old days. So this will never stop me, my old one's better anyway. She always stayed beside me, won't never ever hesitate. Soon I will be vibing, on my way to better days. Always putting time in, I got nothing left to say.
That's a preview of Won't Say by Sheridan, our very own. I would ask him when he's going to drop it, but I imagine he won't say. I had to get that one in there.
You're right.
I
You're
fuck
right.
with that, dude. It wasn't my favorite Sheridan track, but I do like that every track you seem to bring us is something different. Like, you can't just bring us another door is open for everyone to freak out about. But I'm curious to see what the comments say, especially. So if you're in the comments, let Sheridan know what you thought. If Lil Skeptic happens to be here and wants to get his revenge on Sheridan, let him know. But I fuck with it, dude. Ant, what'd you think?
I really like the track. Like Andrew said, it just shows it's just another example of your versatility. Not very many of your songs sound alike. This was different. And I'm getting tired of saying it's not your best song, because I'm not a believer that your next song always has to be your best song. I just think it has to show something new, or be a clear, or like something has to improve within that song. You feel me? And I saw that. I saw growth. I saw improvement. It's not my favorite Sheridan song either, but I thought that it sounded natural.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that parts of that song, that's a song that I could listen to dolo. And I don't really listen to music that fits that vibe all the time. It's not necessarily my niche. I'm not your target audience for shit like that, but it still resonated well with me. It was really dope. Really dope.
Thank you, bro. I honestly didn't think you were going to like
it.
it.
A little bit more in depth, but that's how I feel after first listen.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really honestly didn't think you were going to like it. I just didn't think it was going to be your type of shit.
Well, I actually, like, I think that the door is open, or my door is open. Which one is
door
it?
Is open. Just door
the door is open. I think that that song is a better song, but I could listen to this more casually.
This and
like this is,
and listening to this, listening to this made me hype, and I don't know when it's coming. It might be a little ways, but I'm looking forward to a full length from you now. At this point, I'm tired of just getting these little bits and pieces here, and that's the idea of this shit too. So I really liked that, and that's cool. It's got me ready for something extended, so I can hear you go and do your versatility thing all at once, not over the course of 3 months.
Yeah.
But dude, I fuck with it, so
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Get it?
that's a fact. So
I know it's coming. I can tell it's on the way.
yeah, we're getting a little bit of
For
previews.
sure.
He's probably working real hard not to give us any sneak information. He holds the Sheridan information in pretty good. It's just everyone else's information we got to worry about. But
That's actually funny.
that wraps it up for music we got to talk about. I got one track I'm going to preview for everyone as we close out the show, but we did have a good show in terms of conversation. We had a lot of interesting things to talk about, some good tracks to talk about. If you got new tracks for us, make sure you hit us up on Facebook, hit us up wherever. I'll get them sent to the email. We'll play them next week. We'll get some stuff to talk about, as always. Ant, you got anything to promote coming up? You did just drop Clean Slate.
Yeah, just dropped Clean Slate. You know, it's a 3-piece. I dropped 8 songs in the past 2 weeks. It's been absolutely absurd. I can't expect all you guys to have heard every single song as I drop them, which is why I keep them in the bio of all my social medias. If you go and click on my link tree, it'll take you to any of the music that I have dropped, whether you have YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or anything. Bunch of singles, bunch of features, and it's only gonna keep coming. I plan on dropping little spurts, little projects, little singles, and I don't control when the features come. So shit, y'all niggas might get 5 in one day if people fuck up. But go on all streaming platforms, just check those out. If you're tuning in to the episode, chances are you're already following me. But if you're not, make sure to like Upstate Aesthetic, like my Facebook page, follow me at Anthony Cannon on any social media platform, and just know I'm gonna be a project real soon. Music and cover already. Just tying up a couple loose ends and making sure that I can build the hype up for this properly. Because I think that sonically, this is gonna be my best project. If people whether people love it or hate it is up to them. But I'm very excited about it, and it's just a lead up to what's to come in the future. This is gonna be the first installment of a series that I'm doing. I'm very excited to get it out.
But I'm excited. I'm excited for that too. Yeah, same thing. I got songs coming. I got a couple videos coming, possibly within the next week. We'll see. And other than that, follow me on all social medias. Like Ann said, like Upstate Aesthetic. Just be on the lookout. We got a lot of artists that I think are gonna be dropping a lot of stuff come the end of this year. So just keep your eyes open, because I think we're gonna get some really good music coming up.
Facts.
Yeah, buddy.
Thanks. But yeah, just thanks for tuning in, y'all. Season 3.
Thanks. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. Couple episodes, 4 episodes away, we're gonna be doing the producer competition episode. So like I said at the top of the show, make sure you guys send those submissions in as soon as you can. And otherwise, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate the consistent support throughout all these episodes. It's been awesome. It's been great having everyone to talk to, having all the music conversations week after week, and continuing to build support for Upstate. Like Sheridan said, it looks like we're going to be busy closing out the year because there's a lot of music yet to come. And with that said, I wanna shout out King. He's got a project coming this week or next week, I want to say.
Yeah.
Lame. Let's approach. What is it? Let's approach my environment. I want to say that's what the acronym is. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to all types of music that's coming out, guys. So and speaking of music that's coming out, I'm going to be playing this track in full length next week on the Cypher. But T Melly and Saint Kid reached out to me, wanted me to play a snippet of this one. So we're going to play a snippet of a track that they've got coming out in the next couple of weeks. I'm actually not sure of the name off the top of my head. That's my fault. But keep an eye out for it. This is a really dope track. Until next week, thank you guys for tuning in. Here you go.
Love drunk, yeah. Tell me what you drinking for. Fucked up, yeah. That's just what the weekend's for.